Lucky Boys Podcast.
Am I just scared to do this? Like, nah, let's try this shit out. Let's see what
See,
happens.
that's the thing. You're asking yourself. There's a common theme, right? With people like that, they ask themselves the right questions.
I try to not to speak to myself because I think it's kind of weird. But I try to have
mentally, not loud. Like, what do I want to eat tonight? Like, I'm not saying literally. I'm
right.
like mentally. You have conversations in your head, right? You think about things. In your thoughts, do you ask yourself questions?
There are moments that I have asked myself questions, but for some reason, it does give me realizations, but it also gets me very emotional because they're very personal questions, and for me, it's almost like there's a fear of doing that. You know, I see you guys like it's great to ask yourself questions, and I agree, but for me, it's sort of like opening up wounds, and it might not be pretty, you know, and that's why it's very, for me, it's very limited. Like if I have questions of how I can better myself, it's usually with other people. Right. Asking those questions.
I mean, kind of sounds like you run away from.
Oh yeah, totally.
So you're running away from pain.
Of course.
You're running away from the past. Of course. You're running away.
Well, yeah. So most of the time, these questions are very personal. Like I'm asking myself.
Is that healthy?
I think there are times when it's healthy to ask those questions and having those wounds kind of open, and then and then speaking about them. But I think it's just also healthier to speak with somebody who can open your mind to a different perspective, because even if I speak to myself, I'm giving myself the answers, so it's not really a different perspective. You know, I'm opening my mind to having that conversation, but really I'm speaking to myself, so it's not really a different perspective. So I do have questions like the ones that you have with yourselves, but I intentionally want to have these conversations with other people.
So how do you explore it? Do you actually initiate conversations with these people to explore, or do you continue to run from it so that you don't have to confront your demons?
Oh, I mean, or
your shortcomings, or whatever you want to label it.
Yeah.
It may not be demons.
These questions, I usually, definitely I speak to people that, that are not biased. They're impartial. They will give me the straight answer, but so I do have questions like with people that I trust. These conversations have to be with people you trust, because they're so personal that you don't want to have someone who will be judgmental, to say things
or use that shit against you,
against you, or say things that will just break you down.
Yeah,
I don't have these conversations with my parents
because you're at a very
ding 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 ding. So, I don't have these conversations
because you're at a very vulnerable moment.
Yeah, of course.
Lucky Boys Podcast.